Good evening everyone, welcome back to your beloved Drawback chess speedrun. As usual, today we are playing 3 games, climbing from 3800 to 3900 rating points, and without any further ado, let's get into today's content. First game is played at 3830 rating points, and before I can even read my own drawback, e4, and my opponent revealed his drawback. This guy didn't even bother to read his own drawback before revealing it and making the first move. He is arguing that he has more testosterone than me. But this is just total reckless. Not approve, I will take my time. Helicopter parent, you lose if you have an undefended pawn, stand your ground, your pieces can only capture if they are attacked. Reveal drawback to opponent. Okay, so I cannot push e5 here, e6. I didn't have enough time to think of a game plan, had to make the first move before the game is aborted. We'll think of a game plan on the second move. d4. Very aggressive. My opponent's pieces, and pawns, can only capture if they are attacked, so I need to somehow attack them without getting attacked back. And the most optimal pieces to do that are definitely the knights. Knight c3. Knight g4. If what I'm thinking is right, then this knight is practically unstoppable. We only need to be careful about his counterattacks. Knight d5. E takes d5 is losing to my own drawback. Knight takes f2 instead. This is not a check, his king cannot capture. Queen f3. He's trying to counterattack. Knight d3 check. Even though my knight is very useful here, the problem is it is only a single horsey. Unless he blunders a royal fork, I won't be able to get any significant advantages. King e2. Knight takes c1 check. King e1. Knight d3 check again. King e2 again. I really want knight f5 check, but his knight can actually capture my knight. Therefore, I'll bring in another knight. Queen g3. He's targeting the c-pawn, just a normal chess tactic, and I can't just give a check because his king can capture the other knight. d6. Queen g5. Okay, now things get complicated. I cannot take his queen because that drops the c-pawn, and I also cannot let him take my queen because that also drops the c-pawn. Knight e7. And I've just realized queen takes e7 is still possible and immediately winning the game. Aha! So instead of winning the game, he chose to blunder a woman. What an amazing unpaid actor. Knight f3. That blunders a horsey. His knights are the only things that can capture my knight, so removing one of them is making one of mine practically invincible. Knight takes c7. Queen takes c7. e5. Knight takes d4 check. King f2. I want queen c2 check, but that drops the d-pawn. d5 first. Bishop d3. Queen takes c5. Need to be careful though. Moving the queen out means I have to use the other pieces to defend the pawns. I need to make sure not to randomly lose to my own drawback. c4. Check 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 check. King f1. Knight f3. Rook e1. Knight d2. Checkmate in 1. That was a great game. I was completely losing until he blundered that queen. It's never too late to lose. Second game, let's go. Atomic bomb. If your opponent captures a piece adjacent to your king, you lose. Aha! A very difficult drawback, but in case you don't know, I actually have my own beloved Atomic Chess speedrun. Atomic Chess is actually running in my blood right now. This is my drawback to win. Reveal drawback to opponent. d5. Bishop f4. The drawback wants my opponent to capture next to my king, and yet this bishop is aiming at this very unrelated pawn. Knight h6. Knight f6 may get bishop g5 double pin. Developing the knights to the rim is genuinely a good thing in atomic chess. e3. Develop. Queen h5. Okay, I didn't see that coming. g6. I'm actually blundering a knight here because if bishop takes h6 I have to take his bishop instead of his queen to avoid an atomic explosion. Never mind. Queen takes e7 is exploding my king. f6 is kinda forced. Queen g3. He wants to attack my c7 pawn, which is actually very difficult to defend, but since that pawn doesn't touch my king, I'll just let it die. Knight c3. I'll take this pawn. Bishop b5 check. c6. Take bishop c7. Queen d7. Normally bishop d8 is very dangerous in atomic chess, but this drawback only applies when my opponent makes a capture, therefore bishop d8 I can just simply take his bishop. Retreat. Knight f5. And it turned out that my knight is pinned because of my drawback. It's okay. e4. I'll take. Bishop b4. Castle. Alright, now things should be a bit safer. Rook c1. That blunders a rook. Queen h3. h5. g4. Very aggressive. Apparently he has given up defending his king and instead just focus on attacking my king. Queen takes d4. It's troubling me a lot that it doesn't seem like this guy has been playing with any drawbacks whatsoever. G takes h5. Queen d2 check. King f1. e3. H takes g6. Queen takes f2. Checkmate in 1. It seems like I'm getting too good at drawback chess. It is just physically impossible for me to lose. Third game, let's go. Exclusivity clause. You can't move to squares that more than one of your pieces can move to. Too easy. Reveal drawback to opponent. e4. c5. Okay, so it seems he wants queen a5 directly attacking my king from the very beginning. And apparently I don't even see how I can defend against it. Bishop b5. Queen a5. Queen takes d2 is unstoppable and it is in fact a checkmate in 1. Bishop takes d7 check. Removing my bishop from controlling f1, so my king can have a safe square to go to. King takes d7. Run. Queen takes d2 regardless. Apparently this guy really knows what to do against this drawback. Well, I mean, it's fine. 2 wins and 1 loss. Drawback chess speedrun today. 100% win rate.